Right, good morning. Okay, so yeah, again, well, I suppose because it's November, it's pretty ropey weather. It's very cold this morning, so I'm going to get working as quickly as possible. Today, I'm going to show you how to do this puzzle cube. I've seen it in an ancient book, and I've never made one before, so it may or may not go particularly well. I think it'll go all right. It's not particularly a difficult thing to do, but what it will do is it really relies on the accuracy of how you can shape your timber. So today we're going to be using a lot of planing. Going to be using a bit of chiselling. And a bit of sawing as well. So a lot of the things that we've already looked at, and we'll go from there. So let me show you what tools we're going to need today. So what we have got is going to need tenon saw, obviously, maybe probably not so much of that, but a little bit of that. Need your mallet, sharp pencil, setting out square. Bit of timber. So I found some old bit of oak. So this will really benefit from hard timber. So if you've got something hard, then great. If you haven't, then you can do it out of pine, but it just won't last as long and be as crisp. Got a little note. So what this is telling me is the longest piece I need is 4.5 inches. So everything's going to be the thickness. The thickness, I've already started on the one piece, but the thickness is going to be 1/2 inch. It's not finished yet, as you can tell. The thickness is 1/2 inch, but then it's lengths of 4.5 inches. Then so I think there's three. Yeah, there's 3 at 4.5. There's 6 at 3.5, 6 at 2.5, and 6 at 1.5. Once we've cut those all out and shaped, then we start cutting some notches into it to help it all fit together. Got some very sharp chisels. So today is going to be, because we're going to be doing a lot of paring and a lot of cutting, then today is all about sharp chisels. So got my old favourites. Got these old wooden ones with the old Sorbies, and a 3/4. I think these are the ones. So we're going to start with doing the face side, get the two edges sorted, and then we'll do the back side, and then that will get us the section we want. Normally in a joinery shop, you would put this into a thicknesser. You do a surface planing and you thickness it, and this would take minutes. But that's not what we've got. We've got hand tools, and going to do it by hand. Do it the old-fashioned way. So I'm taking quite thick bits off at the moment. Right, so that's the rough bit, and I used the other planer with the super sharp blade in to take it finely down. If you're unsure about whether it's flat, get your steel rule on it, go in 2 directions, and on the diagonal. I can see that's pretty flat, and I'm happy with that. There's no blemishes in it. It looks like it's come up pretty good. Is to leave your planers blade up like that. So many times you see people with the blade down, and what happens is you do that, you will blunt the blade. You might put it down on some concrete, or might put it down on a tool or something. If you just get into the habit of putting it side on, great habit. Right, so we've got both pieces of timber planed up all the way around, 1/2 inch thick, the right length. This is the 4.5 inch length, and I will be cutting the 3.5, 2.5, 1.5 out of this board here. So what I am going to do is I'm going to cut it up to lengths slightly longer, for a bit of waste, and cut them all up, and then I will plane them all up individually to get them square to height. Going to cut this to 4, and then the other one needs to be 3. That leaves me 2.5. Yeah. So if I do that, 4, 4, 3, and the other one will be this left 3. So waste on either side, so it doesn't really matter about this. Nope, too thick. Right, I've moved over to a number 3 plane. And the reason why is because we're doing quite a thin section of plane, and I'm finding the plane just a little bit heavy and difficult to feel where it is in relation to the timber. So hopefully a lighter planer will enable me to do that. I've also sharpened it up, so it's absolutely razor sharp. So I think we're going to get some good results with this. Feels good anyway. Right. Right, welcome back. So I've got all the little pegs, all 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, and now I'm going to cut them down to length. What I am going to do is use something called a shooting board. I have never heard of this thing before, but I saw it on the internet last night, and I thought this would come in absolutely perfect for this job. So what I have to do is accurately cut down these pieces and square the ends off, the end grains. Now end grains are really difficult to square off because when you plane on the end grain you break out the back. Now this shooting board, what happens is there's like a little stop and you run your plane up and down like this, and it enables you to just take off a slither of this, and it will prevent it from breaking out the back. And it also, because you're keeping it down flat on this bed, it gives you a square end. It's fantastic. I'm gonna carry on using it. So yeah, bear with me. To check them, you just know they're coming out square. Right, that is it for today. I have made the shooting board. I have got all the pieces of timber ready to shape and turn into this puzzle tomorrow. They're all accurately cut to the sizes required. And then tomorrow will be reveal all time, won't it? Right, welcome back. So now they've got all the bits, we're going to start to mark them out. So generally they all have a width, a halving joint in the centre, the width of the timber. The timber is 1/2 inch all around. So in every piece we're going to put in these 6, these 6 and these 6, we're going to put a 1/2 inch slot straight through the middle, at halving joint halfway through. I've got a 1/2 inch chisel, which I'm just going to sharpen up in a second. I may use the tenon saw, or I may just chisel them out directly. Depends on how well that goes. If it's a bit hard, then I'll saw them, but it seems a little bit of overkill. But let's see how we get on anyway. So the key to this is absolute accuracy in the marking out, because as long as you get the lines in the right place, then you should be able to use your chisel to cut out perfectly. That's about right. When you're setting out, you can check for halving joints, because you can check from both sides. So just put a little dot on that side, and then just put a little dot on that side, and they should hit the same hole. And if that, yeah. So if you can, I don't know if you can see that, but if you do that, and then you put it like that, if they hit the same hole, then you know you're in the middle, in your halving. So that's what I'm going to do. So then I'm going to gauge it. Be careful with the gauge marks, because they're very difficult to get out. Told you before. Right, I've done these ones. I'm going to start cutting them out. So I'll start them with the chisel, and then depending on how I feel, depending on how it's cutting, I'll have a complete with the chisel, or I'll use the saw. So let's get a sharp chisel. So always set it back a touch, because when you hit it, it's going to go in. It's going to go in. Let's see. I think I'm going to saw these, because it does feel a bit hard. Yeah, it's moved quite a bit. So let's just chop them all. Chop, 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 chop. Come on, Steve, get a move on. Let's show you what I do. So what I will do, we're just going to make a little bit of a space. Now I suppose this would be better with a bevel chisel, which I just so happens to have. Bevel. Because the firmer might just snag the edge. So what you can see, so what we've got there is I've got a little channel, so I'll be able to get my saw against that edge, and then my saw against that edge, and then it'll just be absolutely on the line. Whereas if you just threw the saw in straight away, it wouldn't be as accurate, and you wouldn't get it as you had marked it up, and then that's when you start getting gaps and stuff like that. You know. Just have a quick look. It's not breaking out at the back. That's good. Right down to the gauge mark. That's lovely. Let's see what these look like. A bit tight. Oh, sliding in. Look at that. Now, because this is a puzzle, you don't really want a hammer fit, do you? But as you can see, hold on, can you see? As you can see, eventually you're going to see. As you can see, it's just proud a little bit. So I'm going to take them out, find out which one is doing it. But I'm really happy with the sides. It's just the base of it. So it's just, so I know that I can take it. Perfect. I'm very happy. Okay, right, welcome back. Right, managed to get all these pieces all carved and put together, turn them into these little crosses for no good reason, but I was just checking to see if they all went together. Right, now I've got to mark out the 3 hardest pieces, the longest piece, or the pieces that I think are the hardest. So let's crack on. So right, there we are. Right, so this requires razor sharp chisels. I try and put them in the vise, but it might not be strong enough to clamp it while I'm trying to chisel it out. But let's give it a go. Looks pretty solid so far, eh? Come around a little bit. Yeah, okay. Right. Which way is the grain going? So the grain is going up like that. So I want to turn this round because I want to be going with the grain. Yeah, that's correct. Always go with the grain. In life, general life lesson. Break out because it's so brittle. nicely. It's going all right. Yeah, it's going all right. Yeah, it's pairing quite nicely. A little bullnose plane or something might do good for this, but I don't have one. So. Right, so we're going against the grain. Be careful. Yeah, doesn't like it. This is why I always tell you, go with the grain, because it just won't finish as nicely or break out. But not too bad, not too bad. It's dead centre and half, and the width of the wood and half, and then this one is slightly off centre or level with the edge and half of the distance again, and then this piece here just not focusing, is it? And then this piece here needs a quarter, another quarter taken out, so it'll just have a little eighth. So I'm going to just knock those out, and then we might be able to start putting it back together again. It might need a bit of fettling to get it together, but you never know. It might work first time, but probably not. Right, welcome back. So I've managed to cut all the pieces and everything, and what's the only thing that's left to do now is put it all together. So there are three main pieces. These are these pieces. This could go terribly wrong. If you put this one and this one onto there, put that one onto there, and you lock those together. It's just like Christmas, isn't it? Just lock those together. Then you put a small one, medium one, long one, right. Now you put the key block in. This piece, key block, if it will fit. Yep, there it goes. Key block, medium one, long one, long one. It's absolutely key that all the pieces fit tightly together. Otherwise, the whole puzzle will just fall apart. You don't want that. You want a real tight puzzle there. There you go, fitting together. And now what do we do? Okay, was it these ones? Yeah. Come on. But not too tight. That's them. Got that wrong a little bit. Basically, loads of trial and error. You'll get it. Good. That one. Sorry. That one. Just fit it together nicely. Ah! Careful, pieces are sharp. Slide that one in there. Put that over there. And then the complete key to it all is that these three slide over. This piece is now the key. And you just... Ooh, and you twist. And the theory is let it go. Oh, I think it's just starting to go. Ah, you beauty. Look at that. There you have it. There you have it. Cube, all cubed up. Right. Right. Thank you very much for watching. That has been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to wax this. I'm going to use some beeswax on it. Just something really light and make it slippy. Get a bit of colour out. And then, well, you'll be able to make your own.